I would like to bring the attention to something very, very basic, which is very decisive in the whole way the development of the world will take place. One basic thing to realize is that if we want a healthy, possible coexistence on this planet, we need to realize that the peace is connected with the individual and the global process. It is not that there are only some leaders who are responsible and we are just victims. The fact is that it's a deeply interconnected, interwoven reality, and whether we are aware of it or not, whether we are conscious or not, everyone is participating, contributing in different ways to the developments. For example, if we don't clear and confront the conflict inside us, if we are carrying pain, if we are carrying different kinds of shadow states, and it's working on in us, and it is creating a conflict, this conflict is having its impact in the world. And this is what we have to really recognize. Because without recognizing this and without realizing that everybody is contributing directly or indirectly through their energy, through the manifestation of the vibrations which happens through them, to the whole process on this planet. Of course, many things are not at all obvious. We cannot go about it in the way to prove anything scientifically and say that it is exactly so. But those who are considering, those who are looking carefully, they will also see that there is a deep interconnection. And we are in direct or indirect ways contributing to the kind of leaders who is taking responsibility in different ways. For example, when there is a feeling that we have to be superior to the other, when there is a feeling that we have to be going with force and power and we can subordinate the others, and this kind of approach of force and violence, this kind of an approach of intimidation and looking down, is a very undercurrent basic misunderstanding. And so far we have been going through it in so many ways, and those who are considering carefully can see it. But now we have come to a point where either everybody realizes it and starts taking the inner steps and the outer steps for it, or we are following a self-destructive process which can very rapidly become very destructive, to put it in the simple way. And this is very important that we individually consider it. Because we are normally imagining the politicians are doing something wrong, the other people are responsible for it, what can I do? But only when you understand in the depth, and that is what the meaning is when people who are insightful are saying it is a non-dualistic reality. That everything is interwoven, interconnected and affecting everything else. Now stay with this carefully. Because when your attempt is to understand the reality and base your life on the reality, it's a different approach. But when you already have concepts out of your conditioning, out of your different misunderstandings and conclusions, and out of the habit which we have gotten into, to go about life without considering deeply, then indirectly we are contributing to a destructive process. Because only through a careful consideration and the recognition that we cannot be peacefully together when we are looking down on somebody, when we are trying to be superior to anybody. We cannot have peace when we are controlling the other and through force preventing an explosion. That will not stay, because that what you suppress, those whom you are condemning or putting down, they are waiting for the right opportunity to hit back, because they are feeling hurt, there is pain, there is helplessness. And that is not a state from where anybody can contribute to peace. Just like anybody who is forcing and approach through violence, through trying to control, are going in the wrong direction. Both are in different ways trapped in a misunderstanding. So it is very important to realize that we have to learn to understand the nature of the reality and learn to consider so that we can intelligently live together. And for that you have to also recognize that everybody is part of this wonder. Everybody is coming from the same source. Everybody is here because life, the creator, the creation, the mystery, wanted it so. I am often reminded of one very significant saying in the ancient teachings, which says, even if a blade of grass is missing, the whole existence will thirst for it. It is a very significant reminder, because it says everyone is wanted. Everyone is here because life wants it so. And the more you consider carefully, you can see that we are all unique. There's nobody like you. When everybody is unique, and when you recognize that, how can you compare and compete and get serious about it? You can have fun, you can play with things. But deep within, you should accept and respect through your understanding. Not because I am saying it or somebody else is saying it. It's not something which you can force from the head. You have to confront the issues which are unclear in you. And just today a friend was writing that she was recognizing that she carries a lot of anger and negativity, and that she has to confront it, and she has been trying to cover it up in many ways. I found it very valuable, because when you start accepting all what you carry, then you have the possibility to clear it. But when you are not accepting it, you are trying to go around. You are in conflict with yourself. And when you are not peaceful with yourself, you are contributing to a non-peaceful, more confused, more violent approach to the world, in the surroundings. So it is very valuable when you recognize that your part is not just insignificant, that you play a role whether you are aware of it or not, and take the initiative that your orientation in life is not of force, not of violence, not of hate, not of blind anger, and that you confront the issues in such a way that through your understanding, through your insight, you can communicate, you can respond to each other, you can find ways to solve the conflicts through communication, through compassion, through deeper consideration together. It is possible, it is needed, and that is very, very significant when we want to have a future in a humane, intelligent, healthy sense. Because the way we are going, you can see it is no time before so near, so obvious, and so in the middle that it can get into a global catastrophe. Of course, everybody is thinking that the politicians have to change. They are the responsible people. Yes, they are all responsible. But we can only indirectly contribute to their approach. And we can indirectly bring about the atmosphere for a peaceful coexistence when we bring consciously the orientation of understanding, of sympathy, of compassion, and recognize that everybody has to be accepted and respected. Everybody is here because life has wanted them to be here. Everybody has the right to be here. And when you can accept that, when you see that it is so basic, then your approach will naturally be very different. You are not trying to get rid of somebody. You are not trying to suppress and control somebody. You look how you can work towards the well-being of all. And with the whole scientific developments and the capacities which we have everything to live together. We don't need to be on each other's throat to survive. So, let your individual understanding and your initiative be recognized by yourself, that you are not just an onlooker to the whole helpless, destructive process, but you are also playing a role. You are also having a decisive function. The scientists have been trying, some scientists have been trying to bring these aspects in a little way which mostly looks ungraspable, absurd, but still, that is what, for example, those who are bringing out through the theory of chaos, chaotic theory, chaos theory. They say that if there is the little movement of the butterfly wings in a planet far away, in this interconnected universe, it can create waves, that it can create a storm in another part of the universe. So, mostly people don't even conceive of such things, cannot believe that it can be so, because we don't consider it in that kind of depth. But there is something very basic about it. It is not just somebody only imagining something, because it's an interconnected universe. And we are part of this wonder, we are part of this mystery. We have a responsibility And we have a chance. And we have the capacity to realize. And let me also put it in this way. When you start taking the initiative and bring a quality of balance, clarity, peace in your individual life, it may not look big, it may not look like something you are contributing to the whole, but first of all, it will bring about a good basis for your life. And indirectly, through that, you are contributing for the wellness of all. In some of the mystical traditions, there is a saying, the well-being of one individual is the well-being of all, because it is an interconnected reality. And those who understand that we cannot be really in a deeper sense well when we are not considering and responding from that basis. I'm wanting to bring this aspect more and more into visibility because somebody has to make it conscious, make it visible, make it clear that it's very, very important. It's high time. So, at this point where we are on the brink of a catastrophic development, all those who can understand, all those who can see and feel, need to take this individual initiative first and also participate through this understanding and contribute in your connection with each other. This is very, very valuable, and this is the basis for a peaceful, healthy, prosperous, joyous, celebrative coexistence on this planet. This earth is something so rare, so precious. And each time the astronauts are going, and when they see it from far away, they come back with so much heartfelt feeling for the planet and the vulnerability of it. Just last week when some of the astronauts came back, their expressions are full of wonder, full of gratitude, full of joy to see the planet from there and see how delicate it is, how fragile it is, and how beautiful we have it. And in this vast universe where you don't see anywhere else such a manifestation of life, such a wondrous process. And you look at everything. When you look at the plants, you look at the flowers, you look at other living beings, fellow human beings, other animals, other birds, the ocean, and the whole life. And the more you look, the more you consider, the more you understand, you will be overwhelmed with the wondrousness of it all. Let it happen to you through your own inquiry. Don't postpone it. It's high time. And it's very, very valuable. And this is the time where we can really make a turn in our approach, where we are not trying to force and through acts of violence and negativity and punishment, trying to control things, but through bringing understanding, through considering the other's situation, considering also the helplessness of everybody. And let me put it this way, when somebody is in a certain conditioning and has not the vision, just to condemn this person and to punish this person is not an answer. It is only a helpless reaction. When we want to bring about a healthy development, we need to bring from our side the understanding how we can bridge to these persons who are carrying such one-sided understanding or one-sided misunderstanding. And through bridging, help to bring clarity, to bring a deeper insight. So, let everyone who is able to understand this, everyone who comes across this, bring it into visibility of as many as you can. Share it with everybody. And the most important thing is, through your own understanding and living it in your life, let it change the quality of energy. Let it change the kind of vibrations which you manifest. And this is what the scientists are also saying. The whole life is energy. Again, this is not something new, but in the deeper teachings they have been always saying that. For example, in India, the saying uncreated sound, the sound of Om is indicated as the sound which you hear when you become inwardly quiet. So it is called Anahatanad, means the uncreated sound. That is a source which can be connected to and understood in a certain level. Life is very deeply mysterious, and yet when we are simple, when we are ready to understand, it fills us with so much understanding and joy, fulfillment and freedom. And peace is a natural manifestation of that.